Hello, welcome to another exciting episode of New to Vero 2. I'm your presenter, Shabu RU. I know it's been a while since I posted a video, and that's because I've been traveling all over during the summer. I've been to Albany, New York for a wedding, I've been to LA for a wedding. So, when you're married and have a family, I guess that's the type of things you have to do. So, unfortunately, videos has been put on the back burner. But I'm back in the Sunshine State, and I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be working on videos once again. So, we're actually going to be doing another comic review to catch up. Again, IDW's Real American Heroes Special Mission series. This month, we're focusing on Destro. And if you recall, in the Baroness Special Missions, we kind of got a little bit of a backstory on Destro in terms of how he got first introduced to the Baroness. Unfortunately, this issue has no backstory for Destro. It's basically him actually on a solo special mission. So there's not much into the going back into the character and what made Destro Destro. That's actually a disappointment. I have to say that in this run of special missions, I'll have to say that Duke and the Baroness were probably the better ones, while Stalker and Destro, I mean, they're good, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, I felt like I wanted more. And that's okay. I mean, Larry Hama he can't just stick with the same thing on and on. As a writer, I could understand where he has to go different places for his creative juices. In this case, this was more like a single than a home run. But we'll go into that in a little bit later. I guess an update with me is I've got some pickups from my retro collecting, and this may sound as a bit of a surprise, but I finally got my first His tank. Yup, I've never had a His tank before, either as a child or as an adult collector. It's always been like in the back burner, like, I'll eventually get one, but it hasn't been something that I sought after and got. But you know what? Now I made up for that. The cool thing is I actually got it with the His driver as well. And what I did is I put him in the gunner position, and I put one of Black Major's female Cobra troopers into pilot. I guess with her being white and him being red, they kind of pop out a little bit more. In the comic books and the cartoon, the Baroness is usually featured as one of the His tank drivers. But if you put the Baroness in here, it's like two things that are black, and you won't even notice that she's in there. Plus, I kind of like her on her, out on the stand. I think that's a little bit better. So anyway, I finally got a His tank. The other thing that I get is a small thing, but I mentioned it on my in my Instagram, is that if you see Jinx, got her staff, and I think that's important because, like, when you collect GI Joe, I talk about different price points, and that incomplete figures are usually cheaper because they're missing their accessories, and you could compensate with trying to pick up Battle Gear packs. I found this to be amazing because you could end up getting a complete figure. Yes, the colors may be off. For example, the person that we're focusing on today, Destro, you probably can't tell, but his pistol is from a Battle Gear, and I just painted it black to match what actually comes with the figure. And you get the book bag. Major Blood. I have a Major Blood figure that has his a red backpack when the one he came with is black. So the Battle Gear pack is red, and his actual one that came with the accessories is black. So again, I mean, it's Major Blood complete, but the colors of his accessories are different. Not a big deal to most collectors. I guess the ones that are focusing on completeness and what have you, that might be an issue. But, I mean, come on. Whatever. It's still Major Blood. He has all of his stuff. So I think that's a win. Um, I also end up getting the snow serpent, which I found out a little backstory. There's a guy out there that is trying to do an economic thing as far as like buying all the snow serpent like things so he could hoard them, thus driving the price. Supply demand, the economics 101. I found this to be preposterous, but hey, I mean, it's his money and whatever, I guess, but to prove an economic theory to be true by, purchasing as many of these as possible to drive up the price, I think that's kind of crazy. But anyway, here's one you're not getting, buddy. Woo! um, so going back to the IDW Real American Hero comic books, and I've been nothing but praise for these. I think the next one is going to be feature Scarlet, and that's basically going to put an end on the 5-part special runs that IDW and Larry Hama have for G.I. Joe. They're going to pick up actually with Dawn Marie, and she is the new Snake Eyes. But remember, Wade Collins' son is also Snake Eyes. After the death of Snake Eyes, he was burned so bad, he took on the Snake Eyes character mantra and became Snake Eyes. And meanwhile, it's going to be interesting to see how Larry Hama pulls out that there now is essentially 2 Snake Eyes to replace the one original Snake Eyes. So where he goes with this, who knows? But it's going to be interesting to read and to discover. So anyway, let's dive into G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Special Missions featuring Destro. We begin with Destro showing off his tactical body armor system's capabilities. Here he is showcasing how it can withstand 1,200 degrees of heat. The whole objective of this mission is to convince a sheikh that his systems aren't exactly up to snuff to what Mars can provide. The sheikh goes by reassuring him that, oh no, I have plenty of stuff, Destro, I don't need Mars. Destro basically is like, oh yeah, right, sure, whatever. And just then, incoming bogies are spotted. 2 jets come approaching and drop bombs onto the bunker, which is like the middle of the desert. This was unplanned, and the sheikh and his army personnel jump into action and begin, I guess, moving around. Destro calmly takes the lead and tells people to move to the lower ground to a safer bunker. So along with the Baroness, they go downstairs. And then some type of battle android trooper, which is not a Cobra one, but I guess based on that technology, pursue them. Destro stands firm and fights off the intruders. Again, showcasing his weaponry and how it's far superior than any competition out there. This is basically a on-the-job, like, why my stuff is better than anybody else's stuff. So Destro goes all Rambo on everybody and tries to destroy the intruders. And you see the sheikh still like reassuring that, oh, this is not, possible. But Destro's like, yes, it is possible. And Mars is the only company that can prevent this. The Baroness is like, did you plan this? And he's like, yeah, I kind of did. So basically that's the gist of this episode. Next month, Scarlet.